My oh my, do I have a good story for you today. President Biden has finally rolled out his student loan forgiveness plan. Obviously, I would say that this is a step in the right direction for what President Biden is doing. Not that I'm a Biden worshiper, because I don't really worship any politicians, but I'll show him respect where it's due. Now, to be clear, unfortunately, there are a lot of convoluted complications with this whole plan, because if there's one thing that people should be mad about with this plan is that it's really not enough. Conservatives, on the other hand, have literally been fuming through their mouths because this plan went through. Also, to be fair, this is not just conservatives, this also goes to the liberals as well, because some of them have been pretty angry about the fact that there are people that are asking for more. Now, before I show you some of the coping mechanism that these conservatives have been using, along with that one liberal tweet that I'm supposed to show you, let me just go through the whole plan with you so you can get a better understanding of it. Now for me, I kept my expectations very low. Obviously, we are talking about Joe Biden here, and we can't really expect too much from the guy. But afterwards, obviously, I was surprised that this plan was better than I expected. Some of the key points being that you'll receive $20,000 if you did receive any Pell Grants while you were in college, and $10,000 if you didn't receive any Pell Grants while you were in college. And those making under $125,000 a year will receive benefits. And for those that are in college, they would have to pay 5% of their monthly income to cap their repayment. Like I said, I was definitely disappointed. I mean, only $10,000 to $20,000 is probably not enough to cancel all student loan debts, but this is definitely a step in the right direction. Obviously, I wish they did more, like 50 grand worth of student loan forgiveness for individuals with student loan debts, and all these student loan debts to be canceled entirely. But once again, we've made progress. A good amount of progress, I would say. But anyway, moving on, for those receiving under $75,000 a year will receive most of the benefits, and obviously people making above $125,000 will not be receiving any benefits. Not many information has been brought up about this, about how to apply for this whole benefit, but I'll leave a link in the description below for now so you can get updates through your email. And if you don't want to do all that, just subscribe, so I'll make a video on how to go through the whole thing. So to summarize, you will be receiving more benefits if you make less money as opposed to the guy that makes more money than you. So this is definitely something that'll help 43 million of Americans. Once again, obviously this is not going to pay the whole thing fully, but this will make it somewhat manageable. One thing that I'm happy that Biden did, and also I'm pretty worried about him doing, is keep college cost under control, because obviously college has become very expensive recently, along with the fact that they've been wasting their money on unneeded luxury. But the reason this could go wrong is Joe Biden probably won't know what to say. But again, there are definitely ways to fix this. So yes, I definitely don't deny that there are flaws in the college system and the higher education system as a whole. But the difference is I want this whole thing to be addressed, and I want this whole thing to be fixed. So with that note, let's look at some dumb conservative posts that try their best to debunk this whole theory and failing miserably. We gotta start with these ones because it's pretty much the same joke over and over again. Like, holy shit, you guys only come up with one jokes over and over again. I wonder how many more jokes they're gonna throw out there. Can I be 6'4" if I'm 5'8"? No, your height is a part of measurable external reality. Can I be a dog if I'm a human? No, your human genetic makeup is a part of external reality. And so on and so forth. You get the joke. Also, how much you want to bet that these people were a bunch of high school dropouts? Like, did you get your GED, Cletus? Nah, I just identify as a high school graduate. Like, again, I wouldn't be surprised if they made jokes like that as well. The next one is a post that Donald Trump Jr. made, which basically has a picture of a peanut butter saying student loan forgiveness, and the guy that put down his pants is Biden, and Harris, and millennial voter is the dog. Like, I understand what this whole thing is saying. Biden and Harris did this to keep power in the White House. Like, yeah, no shit. Like, you're telling me that the president is tricking us into voting his party back into power in a blatant power grab by doing things that we want him to do? Like, obviously, this is something that would affect the voting decision of 43 million voters. Also, can I just say this meme format just looks disgusting? Like, you're literally telling a dog to lick your balls. But then again, this is Donald Trump Jr., who not too long ago made a post like this. Yeah, he is at that level of Trump worship. But seriously, imagine posting about your dad's penis size. Like, I get it, he's supporting his family members and all that stuff, but this is just creepy. And the next meme we have starts off with the person drowning from the face up saying like, I can't afford my student loans. I think he meant to say I can't afford to pay my student loans, but whatever. But then you go to the next shot, it says the reason that he can't pay for it is because of all the unnecessary things he has and how financially irresponsible he is. So let's dissect these one by one. So the first problem is Starbucks. Like, yeah, buying 1 cup of coffee once a day means that they can't afford to pay their student loans. The next goes to the new iPhones. Are we sure they're talking about college students? Because it sounds like they're talking about high schoolers, rich people, and a bunch of privileged brats whose daddies were rich. I don't know, but what I do know is that these forgiveness plans are not given to people that can afford to get those type of things every once a year. The next goes to cable TV. Who the hell is getting cable anymore? The basic utilities that are important to humans in everyday life are internet, electricity, and water, along with garbage disposal. Like, cable is a dying brand these days, despite the fact that only a minority of the American populations actually have tattoos. This is apparently that big of a deal for people not being able to pay off student debt for some reason. Then we have Gucci's. How old was this person that wrote this? Useless majors. Yep, I could definitely tell this person has been to college. Not. Because many of the students don't cook, and also buying ingredients and other grocery is not free either, so what are you gonna do? And the last one is just so stupid. Cocaine. You realize how expensive those things are and how many states have banned the use of cocaine? This is one of those boomer memes that goes like, bro, you can save money by not having a social life or any fun. It's so easy. Like, even if you do all those things, it's not even gonna make that much of a difference either. But yeah, everyone, don't have any fun at all to make sure that you don't get into debt. While I will agree that there are a lot of financially irresponsible people that need to learn how to save their money better, people still shouldn't be forced to go through student loan debts. On to the next one. You have 2 people. One of them went to college and the other did not. One of them is an electrician who earns $80K annually. The other is a student who's $100K in student debt. Apparently, Chris has no student debts. Adam believes people that don't go to college are stupid, while Chris can disconnect Adam's electricity. Okay, people that have a bachelor's in philosophy and that are philosophy majors usually plan on staying in college a bit longer to get their PhD. This way, they can either become psychologists or maybe go into law school or maybe even become a professor themselves. Second, philosophy classes don't actually cost that much. In fact, this would be around the STEM majors. Third, yeah, sure, Adam probably won't be able to find a job at first, but usually he's going to be working part-time for a law office or other places. Lastly, I don't know a single college person that believes that people without college degrees are stupid. While I do know that people with college degrees tend to have a more, I wouldn't say a higher paying job, but definitely a more high skilled job. But yes, Adam, if he becomes a teacher or maybe even a lawyer, is not going to have a better high paying job than Chris, considering Chris somehow makes $80K a year, which already raises a red flag over there. But his skills are going to be more worthwhile than Chris's job. So now let's get to Chris, who for some reason has no student debt at all. So let's think about this here. With Chris, he's only worked for one industry due to his apprenticeship. Therefore, he's not going to have too much opportunities outside of that specific industry. Lastly, we get to disconnect Adam's electricity. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Adam will sue his ass in court. Like, there are engineers who can do it with a simple push of a button on a computer. And let's not forget to mention that maybe one day some of these engineers, the people that actually have college degrees, could potentially in the future replace Chris with a robot. And I wonder what these people would say if Adam was a STEM major. Because again, Adam would not be taking $100K in student debt if he's a philosophy major. Oh, for the love of God, can this meme just die already? I'm not even going to talk about it. But onto that, for those that are complaining about, hey, I paid off my student loan, and that means you can too. So you should do the same. Need to realize that others shouldn't be forced to suffer the same as you did. Like, here's an analogy. Say like a scientist found a cure to cancer. Should we not give it to the people that currently have cancer? Or would it be unfair to the people that died of cancer? Like, think about that for a second. Just because you suffer doesn't mean others have to suffer. Now, the next one is actually pretty based. It says they should look at forgiving medical debts for cancer patients instead of student loans. Education is a choice, cancer is not. I would disagree with the whole education is a choice thing because, again, you do need education to move on to the economic status. And also, engineers, doctors, lawyers, I'm pretty sure they need education as well, just as much as anyone. But as for this medical debt thing, yes, I agree, we should get rid of it. Thank you. But guess what? Which side supports universal healthcare again? Because in countries where universal healthcare is legal, you don't have to worry about medical debt. You don't have to worry about what insurance you have. And once again, the left happens to support this idea. Then again, these disingenuous assholes are also going to turn around and say having cancer is a choice due to smoking, being outside, having sex, or whatever. I mean, I personally believe that those people should still be treated under the universal healthcare system. But hey, that's just me. Now, obviously, these type of questions are going to come up, such as, why should my tax dollars go into paying for your college? Because I don't want to go to college and I didn't go to college. Like, you need to realize that higher education these days have become a necessity in life. And with the amount of people in this country that knows how to use a cash register, a job that'll be easily replaced by machines, and it's almost being replaced by machines, by the way. I mean, just go look at the self-checkout lane in Walmart. I think it's better to have an educated population than an uneducated population. Now, I'm not saying everybody is going to get free colleges or whatever, and I'm not saying everybody is going to have that type of advantage, but I am saying that this is important to be able to have more and more people with higher educated degrees. And say in the future you have a child that wants to go to college and pursue a degree in becoming an engineer or maybe even a video game developer or maybe even an artist, and you can't afford college, then you can have that advantage as well. And if there are any conservative politicians that criticize people about this thing and that are attacking people about this thing, you have to remember that they're hypocrites. They have no right to talk either. They've used a lot of loan forgiveness programs as well. And no, most people that are going into college are not gender studies majors. Also, a lot of STEM majors that I know even want free college as well. Along with that, they probably also have a lot of student loan debts that they owe. So really, it's not just the useless philosophy majors that the right keeps complaining about. This is something that would help 43 millions of Americans. And if you're telling me all these 43 millions of Americans are gender study philosophy majors, then I just don't even know what to say. So here's the tweet that the Liberal has made here. It says, if Biden forgives $10K in student loan debts and you decided you won't vote for Democrats because you want $50K, I have a favor to ask, and I'm being 100% serious. Gee, I wonder what it is because, I'm obviously a person that wants people to have $50K in student loan forgiveness reliefs. Call up a parents of a slaughtered student or a loved one at Robb or in Buffalo or a family member of someone at Cindy Hook or Colorado or AME and tell them you've decided to help elect Republican who will keep allowing mass murders because you didn't get enough debt relief. Then speak to a friend that's a member of the LGBTQ+ community and explain to them how you'd really like to help preserve their right to marry who they love, but you just can't because you only get $10K free dollars. Okay, first off, let's remember the type of people that want more of this debt relief program. And you might be shocked to find this out, but it's people that usually vote Democrat. And the real reason Biden obviously did this thing is to make sure that he has enough votes and his party can stay in power in the future. So a lot of people, granted, are happy about the amount that they got so far, around 20 or 10K, but there is nothing wrong with wanting more and still not voting. Because again, some people might complain, hey, great, you took away 10K of the student loan relief, but I could use more to be able to pay it off fully. Because if Biden decided to roll out a 50K plan, that would be even better. So yes, this is a step in the right direction and people should be happy with what they got, but this still isn't enough, once again. And this thread, by the way, goes on and on, but this type of mentality just shows me that this type of person does not care about people crushed under the weight of student loan debt. And I want to remind everyone to stop with this whole mentality of it's enough just to destroy the Republicans, that's all that matters. Like, no, it's not. There's actually more things that you need to do to make sure that you stay in power as well. I will vote for Democrat just to keep Republicans out of power, but you should not force anyone else to vote Democrat just because they're not Republicans. Some people will probably not be voting because they don't agree with the policies that this Democratic politician has made, and they want more. Therefore, once again, it's not enough just to vote for the Democrats so they can defeat the Republican opposition. It's also important that they have policies that help the American people. I want to finish this video up with one advice. Stop supporting politicians and stop supporting big businesses unless they work for your interest, like the common people's interest. They're not your friends. There's no way that most of them even relate to you. They've gotten more advantage than you ever did. What Biden did here is a good step in the right direction. And granted, it is a small step, but this is something that should help enough people to be able to get out of debt and actually start a family. Start a new life. Buy a house. Something better than just being in debt. So other than that, be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think about this whole thing, and let me know if you want a video about the whole student loan forgiveness plan once I'm ready to make it and once the whole application rolls out for it. And I will see you later.